All right, y'all, what's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99, all boxing, everything. Make sure y'all subscribe. All right, y'all, back with another video. Been down and out for a few days. Been a little under the weather, but I'm back close to 100%. So I definitely want to come back and do some boxing talk, and got a lot to talk about. Of course, just a lot of stuff that's been going on. But this is one video I wanted to definitely do again because we just been having a lot of back and forth on this fight once again, and I have to give my take because I have people asking me about it, and yeah, I definitely give you my points on where I stand with it right now because I'm really not frustrated with the fighters, at this point because we've seen stuff like this happen before. I'm more so frustrated with the media and the YouTube channels and the casual boxing fans and the emotional boxing fans that just continue to throw out the finger and blame different fighters. Are they quick to, jump off the Arrow train and jump on the Bud train because Bud said this or vice versa. I'm kind of tired of hearing that from all of these different sides in this whole thing. That's why, I just want to say the fight is going to happen. Everybody just needs to stop trying to, pump out fake content or fake videos on this fight or a bunch of emotional videos blaming somebody. They just need to let the fighters and their promoters and their management or whatever put this fight together. Okay, that's what it just needs to come down to. Stop trying to rush this thing. Stop trying to act like inside scoops on who said what or who's really holding up the fight. Do you really think Bud or Errol is going to waste time and tell a YouTube channel what the real holdup is? Do you really think they're going to break their bonds with their management or their advisor over just one YouTube channel? No, they're not. They know what's going on. They're just not going to tell us, right? So, I just can't understand why any YouTube channel would think they have that much power in how to make a fight whenever you got all these powers behind the scene that have so much more invested and is so much more deeper than any YouTube channel could ever be in the sport of boxing, right? Just because you love the sport and you interview all the fighters in the world and do so many videos on the sport does not mean you have more power than these certain hotels in Vegas that have much more invested behind the scenes than any YouTube channel could ever have, right? So for me, I just want everybody, doing videos over and over on Spence Crawford just to let it go for now. Let these fighters work it out, let them negotiate, and let it play out the way they know it's going to play out. So, because what Bud is telling some people, he might know different. He probably just setting the bait just to have these YouTube channels running and acting crazy, and running and acting emotional, right? And so when you hear him tell you one thing, don't be quick to jump on board and just say, oh, this fighter's scared or Bud's scared or Spence is scared. First off, that's one point I want to get out of the way. Neither one of these fighters are scared. Bud or Spence are not scared. With all the stuff they've been through in their life, all the fighters they fought in their career, what do they got to be scared of? What do they got to be scared of? Even if you thought Spence didn't have the skill to hang with Crawford, why would Spence be scared to get in there with Bud at this point in his career? The things these fighters done in their careers, and like I said, the stuff they've dealt with in their personal life, why would they not want to put it all on the line for all the money that they could make in their lives? So just scratch that narrative right there that Bud is scared or Errol is scared. Neither one of those guys is scared, especially if you've never fought before. Don't tell me or don't tell anybody else that Errol is scared of Bud or Crawford is scared of Spence. So, just scratch that right there. I don't want to hear anything about two boxers being scared of each other, all right? And as for, like I said, the YouTube channel thing, like, I got a YouTube channel, of course. Yeah, I got several, and I enjoy doing it because I just like to talk about the sport of boxing, and that's all it is, and that's all it should be, right? If it can make an influence on boxers, fine, cool. If they hear it, I like that, especially with my WMMA channel. When I talk about it, I'm not acting like I'm a promoter and I make the biggest difference, but I make my opinions heard, and they are heard. right? But when you try to act like your channel is making a difference and you are the reason this fight's going to happen or you can make the change, just stop it. Again, the powers that be behind the scene that you don't even know about are calling the shots. They could probably shut your channel down if they wanted to. You know what I mean? So I really don't want to hear anything about, oh, I'm coming with the facts and the real sources here when Bud and Spence, they know the real deal. They know the real deal. They know what's going on. So they're not going to waste their time telling anybody in the YouTube world the actual factual when it comes down to it. They're not going to say that because there's a lot of things that they can't say that they've already signed on before and said, okay, this stuff can't be spoken out until it is time to release it when this actual contract is signed for a fight, right? So YouTube channels don't really, they really can't make the difference here. So if one person says, oh, Bud, he's telling the truth, fans, stop trying to run with that, or if they say Spence is telling the truth and then they say Bud is here, stop trying to run with that. Stop trying to find somewhere to confine in, just step back and look for the truth for once. You know what I mean? Don't just try to keep jumping on this fighter's jock here saying, it's him, he's the hold up now, so I'm riding with him. Oh no, he's the hold up, I'm riding with him now. You don't know. You really don't know. You only know what's being reported, and like I said with YouTube, you never really know what the truth is. That's why I just keep this channel and every channel I do just my opinion. Or if it is facts, it'll come from a fighter's mouth if I'm doing an interview. That's about it. But I'm not gonna go out here and just say, oh, okay, this is what I think. So hey, you need to ride on this train, the Spence train. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that because both of these guys are putting their lives on the line when it comes down to it, and they don't deserve, the hate that they're getting over this fight because they are working behind the scenes right now. And last thing I just wanted to say is, nobody in this whole situation is really their own boss. So when Spence does say he is his own boss, he is to a certain extent. Like, he does have enough money to invest in other things or open up his own company. But when it comes down to the actual owner of PBC, he is not the owner of PBC. He is not his boss in that fashion. Nobody in boxing really is, Nobody in boxing really is. Like, even to a certain extent, Floyd's, he still answers to certain people, right? They still answer to certain people. And, don't try to jump off and say, oh, Bud, he's the one doing all of this. He's doing the legwork now because he's never been his own boss, right? So Spence, he might have a little bit more leeway and freedom than Crawford, but is he really his own boss too? I don't think so. Like I said, this is just my opinion. That's why I know, not to go off and just say, oh, okay, it's all his fault. No, it's not all his fault because he's not the one signing he's not the one that's still scoping out the other minor details that involve a lot of other, a lot of other investors as well into this fight. That's another thing that people are forgetting about. Like, Spence can say he wants to fight, but there's still other people that says, well, the fight's going to happen when I say so, right? It's going to happen when we can get an agreement from this place, and this place here, because there's a lot that's going to be invested in this fight. Not just the fans, but hotels and everything that goes on down in Vegas. So there's so much more that goes into making a fight. Like, you would think that people would try to Google this stuff now or actually try to talk to managers and promoters and keep up with this stuff, but people act like, oh, just because Spence or Crawford don't sign one thing that the whole fight is in jeopardy, or oh, that one person's scared. No, there's so many things that have to be worked out here that even Bud, he wants to make sure it's right for him because he wants to be set for life. One hiccup and they could be screwed out of the money that they could have that they could have really added to their retirement. You know what I mean? If you really think about it, like, that could just be that one line or one thing that they overlooked in a contract, and they could just mess up their whole chances at getting what they feel they deserve, right? So when it comes down to it, Spence and Crawford, I think the fight's going to happen. I'm just not like emotionally invested in it like everybody else. I'm more looking at it in a technical manner, So like I said, you will hear me maybe break down the fight more, but that's what I want to hear everybody else do now. I just want to hear them talk about the fight in a technical way. Like, can you talk about it? Like, do you think it's going to be as good as Trinidad De La Hoya, Leonard Hearns, or something like that? Or let's start talking about the actual fight, like how it would play out. Let's just go ahead and start doing those type of promotional videos. I mean, and the fight will happen. But when you keep trying to jump into these guys' pockets or jump into their minds or jump into their bed, it just gets really frustrating, acting like everybody knows everything about this fight when they really don't know jack. Only Bud and Spence knows. And that's what it is, guys. So I'm just really frustrated with it at this point. I mean, final thoughts before I get up out of here, because I'm just doing this on the fly. Like I said, neither fighter is scared, so get that out of your head. Just get that out of your head, whoever believes that Bud or Spence is scared or one of them is scared to make the fight, because that's not true. And just don't take these YouTube channels or any YouTube channel like that to heart. Even my own, like I said, it's just an opinion. It just comes down to, the love of boxing and talking about, the actual fights and things like that. But nobody out here is really knowing 100% when Errol and Bud is going to fight. It will happen. It will happen because this is the closest they've gotten to having it worked on, but we just don't know the date. So we just got to wait it out at this point and stop making up stuff. At this point, just stop making up stuff at this point. I can just wait at this point. And when I hear that actual date come from the fighters' mouths, then we're set to go. All right. So yeah, let me know what y'all think, guys. I know that was a mouthful. I was just kind of doing that off the fly. Let me know what y'all think. All boxing, everything. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.